Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have game number 3 from the ZOTAC EU Cup number 159. If you have not seen any of the other matches, this is going to be game number 3 once again. Please go ahead and check those out by clicking on the annotation below. But if you're still around, I'm going to assume that you have. We're going to go ahead and jump in and introduce the players. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map is going to be the red Terran player, currently tied with his opponent 1-1. It is going to be aAaMarineLord. And his opponent spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map as the yellow Zerg player. It's going to be representing Team Na'vi after merging from FXO EU. It is going to be Navi's Minato. So once again, it is tied up 1-1. This is the ZOTAC Cup EU 159 Semi-Finals. So the winner of this will advance on to play against the other winner of the semi-finals. Of course, go check out those games if you have not already. But yeah, I'm pretty curious to see how this is going to go. I mean, Minato has shown that, you know what, Zerg players, they don't really want to try and play out to that late game style against Terran right now. ZVT in the late game has been very, very difficult for many Zerg players. Actually trying to love the little semi-heart coming down from Minato. But, I mean, Widow Mines have just been very, very good for Terrans to kind of abuse. So Minato has been going for a lot of those two-base all-in-ish styles of play. And in the meanwhile, MarineLord really wants to go to those late game situations and going up to very fast command center style and whatnot. And oh my god, it looks like Minato might actually be going for a relatively fast gas geyser. And you know, sometimes this is sort of in response to expecting maybe a potential Reaper opening, but we can see no gas geysers taken just quite yet. A barracks being thrown down, a command center first out of MarineLord. So this is definitely not going to be the case. And I'm curious whether or not Minato is going to try and take advantage of the fact that he's gone for this early gas geyser. Maybe try and do a little bit of damage with some very early speedling aggression. Only time will tell, as he does actually have an expansion going up, and MarineLord is going to be sending that SCV across the map, going to be scouting out to see exactly what his opponent is up to, sees the expansion, sees that it's actually a little bit later than usual, so he's going to be expecting something's going on over here. And of course he does see that gas geyser, see the timing of the spawning pool, and says, maybe I should be a little bit careful. He's gonna have to build a bunker and whatnot, make sure he has a complete wall off going. But for the most part, I have to say that I think that MarineLord should be okay. Depending on when Minato actually decides to strike, MarineLord does have that gas already mining, so very soon is going to be actually able to plop down that factory, and that factory is going to be so important to try and get up either Widow Mines or even just Hellions for that defense. I'm kind of more keen on Widow Mines, or sorry, Hellions over Widow Mines, just because, especially when a Zerg player can go for a giant speedling aggression play. That means that as long as they just send in one or two of those Zerglings to soak up that Widow Mine shot, they can actually just run into your base, and what do you really have to actually defend? I mean, we can see MarineLord actually not even going for the full wall up just quite yet. I'm actually curious, where is that extra supply depot? As I mean, it looks like he's just going to be plenty as front. That's going to be a bit of an interesting placement, but we'll have to see if he can actually get up a full wall off in time, or at least a substantial enough wall off before any kind of aggression kicks in. It looks like for the most part, though, Minato has taken all of his drones off of that gas, because he has got enough to actually start mining, or start that metabolic boost that's going to be finishing up actually very soon. But here we end up seeing the big aggression going to coming out, 20 Zergons on the way. And this is going to be a very, very scary push for MarineLord to try and deal with. I mean, look at this. He only really has 2 Marines and a single bunker out. He does have 2 Hellions on the way with that reactor. Going to be throwing down additional barracks as well. Going to be going into that bio-style play. But, again, this is going to be such a difficult situation for MarineLord to actually try and hold. He's throwing down additional supply depots, but he has no idea that this big speedling all is going to come. And there's actually a hole in the wall right now. There is no supply depot there. The bunker actually gets a complete surround. That means no repair will go down. The Marines are immediately going to go down. The Hellions are going to be basically the only defense for MarineLord against all of these speed Zergons, but they're doing a pretty good job roasting a ton of those Zergons. Some of the SCVs are going down. Let's take a look at the unit count station. 29 SCVs to 38. So it looks like Minato has already done a ton of damage, even though he's going to be a little bit behind in tech after this aggression. But still, he has managed to do a ton of damage, and behind this, he's also managed to stifle MarineLord's ability to actually be aggressive for a little bit. I mean, those Hellions did stay alive, so they're going to be able to seize a little bit of map control, but the bunker has to be reestablished. He has to get more Marines out. He has to basically get some defenses because he doesn't know what Minato is up to. But Minato is behind this, is going to be grabbing a third safely. He's going to be going for a double evolution chamber to be getting some of those double upgrades, getting a roach horn out, as it looks like that might actually just be a little bit of a response to the Hellion play. He knows that the one way that MarineLord can kind of be aggressive is with these 4 Hellions over here. And I actually really like the little touch that Minato did. He kind of went back and made sure he repaired up some of those lower health Hellions just to maximize the effectiveness of them. But I mean, how effective will they really be? Sure, they'll be able to maybe deny mining from this third expansion for a little bit, but you can see that the basically complete wall of almost behind, minus the fact that they're going to be a space for 2 queens over there, is going to be very, very effective against just 4 Hellions. These 4 Hellions are not going to really do too much, although it looks like with some good micro, they might actually be able to take out a queen, which would be really, really nice, but theoretically, I think that Minato should not actually be losing that queen. And oh, looks like Minato trying to go for a little bit of surround, moving around with some of those Zerglings to the bottom side. Now these Hellions actually regrouping, so they now have 6 actually. So definitely going to be denying any kind of mining over here from Minato, and of course that larva will build up. Not going to be too effective, but a roach does pop out, and of course MarineLord sees that. He's going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to get too much done, so probably just would like to see him be a little bit more active in trying to shut down some of the creep spread and just constantly poking and prodding. But behind this, you can see he's going for upgrade of his own, which is going to be the +1 marine attacks, which of course is going to be a little bit paled in comparison to the fact that you can see Minato going for the +1 missile attacks and carapace upgrade is going to be definitely getting ahead in the upgrade count. And that is fantastic for a Zerg player to actually have. Zerg players don't often actually have the much better upgrades over their Terran opponents, but this Terran player does have a pretty scary force that's going to be popping out. As you can see, quite a few Marines already have stim finished up, and combat shields has been started. +1 missile, or sorry, not missile attacks. I guess they are kind of like missile attacks. The infantry weapons, they are missiles, in fact. Projectiles, but that is also going to be finishing up very soon, so you might actually be able to hit a nice little +2 plus combat shield and stim timing with maybe some medevacs and some Vikings. That'd actually be kind of cute to see while he actually gets up that 3rd command center. But it looks like, no, he's going to just be going in with +1 weapons, and I'm not sure how much I like this just quite yet, just because, I mean, you can see there's going to be quite a bit of time before Combat Shield actually finishes up, but he does have, you know, a handful of Hellions, a good number of Marines, and, of course, a Widow Mine and some Medevacs. So he has a nice little rounded composition, but this might actually be a little bit too much. I think that Minato has a very scary force in terms of roaches, and I don't think that a MarineLord is actually prepared for this. As you can see, Minato busting through. He's going to be able to take out all of those Hellions. He's going to be able to take out all the Marines as well, and now we end up seeing MarineLord forced to pick up, just barely has enough of his units left over to actually go into 2 medevacs. But now we can see it doesn't look like Minato actually cares about the fact that those medevacs actually picked up. He's going to be going for a counter attack, and what is there going to be to defend there? It looks like there's only a handful of Marines, and it looks like, oh my god, Minato knows that those supply depots are down. Thank god MarineLord does lift those back up, but the Marines over here are going to slowly get cleaned up by this roach count. As you can remember, there are +1/+1 on those roaches, and those roaches, of course, over here on the aggressive side, also going to be able to do a ton of damage. Look at this. The SCV count is dropping so quickly. 27 SCV skill and only continuing to go up. It looks like the roaches have, for the most part, slowly been dwindled down in number. But look at this. The Marines over here, the natural expansion, have not been dealt with. It looks like that Minato did not have enough roaches actually committed to defense, and he's continuing to commit additional roaches over here to the aggressive. And I'm not sure if this is going to be the best decision. Minato is losing so much. Look at the worker count. He's starting to drop, and even though he's done so much damage, it looks like finally, MarineLord is going to be able to do enough damage to clean up, but now he has to deal with this giant roach force over in his natural expansion. You can see that this bunker is basically the only thing that's keeping MarineLord alive, so this is a very back and forth game, but it looks like he wants to go in once again, wants to engage these roaches and stop them from being able to kill off his command center, maybe stop them from killing off the refiners and doing whatever damage they can until these reinforcement roaches arrive. It looks like 2 Widow Mines are actually burrowed over there, but Widowmine's not exactly the best choice against a ton of roaches. There goes out the GG from MarineLord, and it looks like Minato, representing Team Na'Vi, going to take game number 3 after the series was tied up 1-1, and finally Minato showing that, you know what, doesn't matter how many times you see him go for really big 2-base aggression, because he is going to make it work in even the game number 3 that he has basically done it. So really well played by Minato. And of course, a nice attempted defense by MarineLord, but it looks like, I mean, he just was not able to get enough damage done with his push down. Honestly, it just came down to this aggression over at the third. He just lost a little bit too much over there, and that enabled Minato to really go for that counterattack swing and just do that absurd amount of damage. So very well played. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my commentary in any capacity whatsoever. And if you did, please go ahead and check out the finals that will be coming up over the next couple of days. And also follow me over on YouTube. Of course, I guess it's called subscribing on YouTube, not following, but it's youtube.com/FearDragon64. It's probably where you're already watching the video, but it's helpful if you guys subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of stuff, because it gives me a little bit of feedback about what you guys want to see. But also, of course, I have a Twitter and a Twitch TV account. Those are both FearDragon64, so twitter.com/FearDragon64 and twitch.tv/FearDragon64. And, of course, if you have any casting replays that you want me to cast, or even just any general inquiries about casting, whether you want me to cover some sort of event or whatnot, you can email me over at FearDragon64@gmail.com. I'd be happy to take a look at all of those opportunities. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys will tune in for the finals, of course, again, coming on over the next couple of days. And hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time.